Welcome back to the shop. I get comments every day on my channel. My channel's not that big, but I still get comments, and I try to read them all as time permits. And I got a question today on how to disassemble the Makita. And from what I gather... Okay, let me go back and not rely on my memory. It says, "Hi Joe, could you please help me figure out how to remove the canister on my Makita vacuum? This is stuck. I've had some strong guys try and twist it open, even they couldn't do it." So from what I gather, well, I don't know, I'm just going to show you everything I know, and hopefully some of that helps. This is the mid-grade Makita. I'm going to show you the lower end and then the higher end version. I have 3 of these. If she has the canister vacuum, this cyclonic thing, I think this is a great idea. It does a lot to trap all the chatter in the middle. I occasionally have problems with mine, and it's about depressing the latches. Once the latches are fully depressed, I'm able to sort of wiggle it back and forth. And I don't know if that's the problem there or not. But these are actually pretty complex in the scheme of things. You think, oh, I'm going to clean this out and I'll be done. In actuality, you can disassemble this, and there's quite a bit to it. What's not completely obvious is there's a there's a big hole in the bottom there, and it's so hard to see because of the nature of the shape of this vessel, but items get trapped in there, so you want to try to extricate everything out of there. Again, it's super hard. Let me find a flashlight. I'm trying to figure out how to show you this. If you can see the light in there. Well, regardless, there's a whole chamber in there that can get chowdered up. Mine, particularly during Christmas time with the Christmas leaves, was a real nightmare. So you want to make sure to clean out all the different appurtenances that go along with this. But again, it's just a matter of making sure these levers fully depress. Now, if that's not the case, as far as I know, these are all a quarter turn. You're just going to give it a little bit of a turn. And you're also going to want to clean, this is probably the most important part to clean in terms of flow, is you want to go ahead and clean that as best you can. And what I do is I have an air compressor. If you don't have an air compressor, just shake it out as best you can. It's going to be a vast improvement. But all mine have been either quarter turn issues, or like I said, the matter of depressing these latches fully. I think that's the best. That's all I've got to offer for that. This is a good vacuum. I've been very happy with it. I think I've said this in a previous video. These aren't necessarily for deep cleaning. These are more maintenance items. I'll vacuum some stuff up later on. And it's the 18-volt version. So they also used to make, I don't believe they make it anymore, they have a 12-volt system, which is actually 10.8 volts. It was relatively short-lived. And this one has gone through quite a few hot suppers. I get used in the shop all the time on stuff. And even though it's not nearly as powerful as the 18-volt, just the same works pretty good. But I use it for more chunky stuff. I think it should have a foam filter in there. It's got this screen, which ends up acting like a mosquito fogger. It just blows all the chunks out of the side, so any of the fine particulate gets shot through the motor and through the vanes. Again, this is the least expensive of the items, even if they still sell it. But Catherine's a little bit OCD, so I bought her the best one that I knew of, according to Amazon, and it does a good job. She vacuums all the time, and it never fails, it never ceases to quit picking up stuff. Same traditional concept with these series of filters, but this one is quite a bit more effective at removing particulate dust because it's got this fine sock at the end. And this sock, it absolutely, once it gets a little bit of dust and dander and stuff on the end of it, it gets stopped up very quickly. I would say you probably want to clean this once every battery at least, depending on the nature of what you're doing. Is that frustrating? Nah, you know, it's like anything, it needs maintenance. These things work very good when they're cleaned up and ready to go. So just keep them clean and they'll work well. The duty cycle, I wouldn't say that for commercial purposes this would be effectively useless because you'd be cleaning it every 20 minutes. But for a household situation, it works quite well. This is similar to the 18-volt model where you're going to want to make sure all the orifices are clear from the suction end through this hole. Screen snaps in. Again, the same two latches that sort of lock onto those tabs. And then there's alignment tabs on this where, if you can see, these two alignment tabs, get those and give them a turn. Look at that. The other Makita also has, these are, the other ones seem to be reliefs in there. These sit proud. There's two tabs that line up, and then you give it a turn, and then you seem to be oriented properly. In terms of power, as you might have guessed, the 12-volt one, 10.8-volt one is by far the weakest, and I'll give you a demonstration of the other two. Now, picking up dirt isn't very gratifying. I would say that probably, in my mind, the test would be audible in the sense of you can hear the suction. Hopefully this works out. Sort of anemic sounding when you compare it with, this has got several modes on it. I've got it on high. Well, I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this out, but let me go ahead and redo the sound test. This is deceiving how dirty it can be inside of here. There's some filters and fans in there, and I should have videoed it. I didn't. Apologize. But I blew this out with the air compressor, and it was completely socked full of dust, and it has made such a difference in the performance of it. Oops. Now, it is not a Dyson, it does not have a beater bar, it does not have anything. In my house, I've got the LVT, the vinyl plank flooring. It works wonderfully in the vinyl plank flooring situation. And price-wise, I think this was about $100 without a battery, maybe $120, I forget. This one was almost $300 without a battery. It has multiple modes. And the difference between the two sound-wise is now this is a cheap camcorder that I'm filming on, so you doesn't quite have the audio to be able to tell a big difference. But this one is quite the white one, the expensive one, is quite a bit less noisy. This one, they're both tolerable. They're better than a conventional vacuum cleaner. And this one is far more powerful. We've got a couple fatigue mats in the kitchen, and it will pick them up. I actually have to turn the power down on this one because it's so much stronger than this one ever was. Same batteries, same platform. I believe this one's brushless. I don't know about the other one. But again, this is probably, if you're a Makita fanboy like I am, I've been relatively happy with the performance of my Makita stuff. That's why I keep buying it. And would I recommend these? I don't know. I'm not going to go out on a limb and promote something that you do you. But for those of you that are already invested in it, I would say if you think the performance is lacking, you know, find a friend with an air compressor or buy one, blow them out, take your time to go through all the little nooks and crannies and clean them out. I think I have an episode on that already, so you could watch that if you wanted to. But this is, you know, just to help her. I don't know if that gives you much help, but again, good luck getting your suit situated, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.